have your strap handy. So go ahead and find yourself lying on your back. And we're going to focus on stretches, stretching the body, creating some space. So let your legs reach out on the mat and just reach through one leg and then the other. So just starting right away to stretch even before we start stretching. And you can flex your feet and point your toes. And when you're pointing your toes, the front line of your leg gets stretched. Maybe it comes even all the way up to your hip or your belly. And when you reach through your heels, it's the back line of your body that stretches, maybe all the way from your low back right out through those legs and heels. So just take a couple of rounds just with the lower body. And then when you feel ready, reach the arms above head and let the arms join in. And it could be same side, or you could try opposite arm and leg reaching. Just get curious with how you might stretch your body here. Opening up with arms and legs, we open up the middle, we open up the belly, we open up the waist. We create some space for the organs inside. And take a big breath in here. And exhale, just relax. Stop the stretching and just soften the whole body. Maybe the elbows soften, maybe the knees soften. And just feel yourself here and find your breath. And it's a holiday weekend, it's Labor Day, so we can be a little lazy about things today. It's so nice to have permission for that. Let's reach the arms and legs up toward the sky and circle out our wrists and ankles. Getting joints involved with opening and stretching, and take about 9 rotations each direction. So once you've reached 9 in one direction, circle in the other direction 9 times, the wrists and the ankles, and let those toes and fingers come alive here. Let your breath be steady. Once you've completed those 9 rotations, give yourself a hug. Draw your knees toward your chest and wrap your arms around those shins and drop your chin and lengthen out the back of your neck. This is an opportunity to lengthen out your spine while relaxing on your back. So let your tailbone reach in opposition to the crown of your head. And your breath fill the spaces, whatever they may be. So right knee stays hugged in and left leg reaches long on the mat. And just take that moment again to focus on stretching the leg, the right leg, the left leg rather, and then launch your right leg up to the sky. And we have our strap, so let's use it and wrap it around the ball of the right foot. And right away, when you do that, the toes draw toward the kneecap and you get a little extra stretch for the sole of the foot as well as the calf and all the way through the back of the leg. So just take your time to feel and stretch and open and breathe. Draw your toe gently closer towards your nose or beyond your head, however you'd like to think about it or experience it. Stretching through both legs, take a breath. We'll hold it for another 2 breaths just to really deepen into the stretch. And when you're ready, the right leg opens out to the right, and you can let the leg go far or not that far. And the strap is really nice. You can kind of regulate the stretch and the angle of the leg by using the strap and sort of controlling where you land with the stretch. So your leg will obviously also tell you where it's stopping, but you could explore different ways of stretch here. Taking a couple breaths into this inner thigh, leg, also the inner seam of the foot. Take another breath. And then we'll shift it on over to the other side, twisting so that the right leg comes over toward the left. And just take your time with this. Now this is the right arm's chance for a nice stretch. So right arm reaches to the right and just reach from your shoulder right out through your fingertips. Find that stretch. And you might mimic that with your right leg, but focus on the shoulder, focus on the arm, focus on the hand, just for something different. And let the head roll side to side, ear to ear, nodding in a no shape. 2 more breaths wherever you are. Lift the right leg to the sky. Meet the left leg and the right leg up in the sky, and just use the strap to pull the toes toward the nose or beyond the head. And then let the left leg rein high and let the right leg stretch out long on the mat. Taking a moment to really stretch that right leg. And of course, stretch your left leg. Find your breath. Taking our time today, enjoying the body, enjoying a luxurious stretching moment. Where else might you stretch your body? Your jaw. Your back is getting stretched. Let's open the left leg out to the left. Stretching the inseam of this left side. And again, really titrating how far you bring that left leg onto the side. So you just be kind to your body, be curious, be creative. You might get a nice shoulder stretch in here. We'll take 1 more breath. And then lift that left leg up and bring it across over to the other side. And let's reach the left arm out to the left and really send our attention into that left arm, stretching, reaching from shoulder out through palm, out through each ray of each finger. Finding your breath, taking another couple rounds. Slowly bringing ourselves into our practice today. Center your head, and this time nod at yes. Chin comes up and down. Last breath. Bring that leg back up to the sky and then release, and let's rock our way up and down the back of the body. Rocking and rolling, if this feels okay for you. We will meet in a child pose today. So feet together, knees wide. Let's give the shoulders and arms a moment, the hips to stretch out, forehead to the ground. Each palm really centered onto the ground. Inner elbows rolling up toward the sky. Shoulders draw back and arms stretch. And you can play with your hands. You can keep the palms down, or you could spider finger your hands or lift the fingertips up to the sky. Just play with the hands and how that affects the stretch of the arms. How your breath supports the stretch. Giving your spine some attention, lengthening, spacing between the vertebra, opening up. Let's wag the tail and let the shoulders roll side to side. Maybe a couple sighs out the mouth to feel good. Walking the hands over to the left. Left hand anchors the right, and right shoulder draws back toward the right hip. Open up the spaces around the waist and between the ribs. Again, let your forehead drop and release down to the mat. 2 more breaths. And an exhale out the mouth as you walk on over to the other side, over to the right. The right hand anchors on top of the left, and the left shoulder draws down toward the left hip, and just any little movements or stillness or breath that supports opening this left side, stretching out. Couple more breaths here, enjoying, feeling into your body. Last breath in. Sigh it out as you come through center, finding your way to tabletop and cats and cows, really moving the spine. Once again, finding our connection to joint mobility to support our stretching today. So on inhale, we lift chin, chest, eyes, and tail. And on exhale, we round out the back, drop the head, drop the tail, squeeze the belly in, arch like a Halloween cat. And you can move quickly or slowly between these two places, these two end points. Enjoy the journey. Enjoy your breath. Take a couple more rounds. Last one, inhale. Curl the toes under, and on exhale, rise your way up to downward facing dog. Hips are high. Soles of feet and palms of hands are spread. Give your head a nod yes and a shake out no, and really open up the stretch here. Palms press forward, hips rise high, belly is strong. Heels dropping down toward the ground so that the backs of the legs get a beautiful stretch. Shoulders draw down the back and the palms press forward. The arms even get an opportunity to lengthen. Let's lift the right leg up to the sky and bend that knee and roll the hip open and press your right foot toward your left shoulder. Just focusing this time just on the stretch of reaching foot toward shoulder. How does it feel in your body? Take another breath. And launch that right leg as high as you can to the sky. Inhale. And let's step the right foot forward and find our blocks underneath our hands. And we'll bend the right knee and lift the chest, stretching through the left leg, coming on the ball of that left foot on inhale. And on exhale, we pull the hips back and bow the head down and straighten out both legs. We're just moving nice and slow between these 2 points. So inhale, lift the chest. You might come up on the fingertips on the blocks or lift the blocks to the full height, lifting the chest up, stretching through the back leg. And exhale, pull back and straighten and bow. And since we're focusing on stretch today, really find the stretch in your body. Like, where do you feel the stretch and how can you deepen into it? We'll take a few more rounds. Again, moving at your own pace, really finding your own signature with each one of these poses. And we'll take one last round. So bending into the right knee, lifting the chest. I'm actually lifting my arms up off the blocks, coming into a deeper stretch for my chest. Exhale, straightening, pulling back, bowing. And we'll go ahead and turn to face the side of the mat. Wide-legged stance, hands under shoulders, inhale. And exhale, we'll bow and the head's down and the hips are up. And let's reach the arms up to the sky. Interlace your hands. Use your strap if you can't meet hand to hand. Because let's give the shoulders an opportunity to open up, reaching the arms up to the sky and then reaching them beyond, aiming them beyond the head. So just giving those shoulders a nice rinse. Find your healthy edge with this. The legs get a stretch, the shoulders get a stretch, the spine gets length. One more breath. Gently and carefully release the hands. Come into a moment of flat back, hands under shoulders. Crown of head reaches forward, tailbone back, belly is strong. Feel the power, the stretch, and the dynamism of this pose. Take another breath. Roll to turn to face the top of the mat, stepping the left foot forward. Both legs are straight in pyramid. Left hand is going to stay down, and right hand is coming to the sacrum at the base of the spine. So both legs straight, Left hand down, spin, turn toward the inner right thigh. Maybe the hand stays at the sacrum or the low back for some support. Maybe it rises up into space, really feeling your wingspan. Big stretch for the back calf. Big stretch for the arms. Take one more breath, inhale. Lean back, open up, enjoy this twist. And then unwind and step back strong, high plank. And let's lower all the way to the belly. Let's not linger. All the way down. And once again, interlace your hands behind you. Squeeze your shoulder blades and stretch the chest open. Lift the thighs, lift the chest, lift your head off, and lift your arms up. Big front body stretch here. Really feel it in your body. Take the time to center yourself, to notice what needs a little extra attention. The subtleties of this pose. Take a breath, inhale. And then release your hands underneath your shoulders. Nice little detail. Drag the backs of the wrists on your mat to stretch the hands, the back of the hands. Hands under shoulders, turn the palms to face down and lift the chest. And just breathe here. This is a stretch for the front of your spine. So just imagine all those ligaments opening up, the river of energy opening up for your front body, the legs lengthening back, stretching the fronts of the thighs. Take another breath, inhale. Exhale through child pose. So press back to child pose. And then back on up to downward facing dog, your own timing. And once again, just take a moment to fully stretch into the fullness of down dog. Give your head a nod yes when you've arrived. And shake out no, just for fun. Go ahead, lift the left leg up to the sky and bend that left knee and roll your hip open and press your left foot towards your right shoulder. Find that beautiful arc of a stretch for your body. Inhale. And we'll go ahead and straighten out that left leg. Pull it high, high, high to the sky. Breath in. And let's step the left foot forward. Find your blocks. And we'll find those bends and straighten. So bending the left knee, coming up on the ball of the right foot, lifting the chest on inhale. And on exhale, we straighten both legs and pull back through the hips and bow through the head. And just move between these two spaces and places with grace in your own timing. It might be speedy, it might be slow. Honor your breath and all the little nooks and crannies that need a stretch today. You might start coming higher up off the blocks if that serves you well. So just take a couple more rounds. Enjoy, enjoy. Inhale, last one. Exhale, straighten both legs. And we'll turn to face the side of the mat one more time. Lift and lengthen. Reach your spine long. Breath in. How do you stretch a series of bones that makes up that spine? Exhale, bow, head down, hips high. Interlace your hands up above you. Again, use the strap if it's handy and it's helpful. Reach the arms up first and then overhead. Taking your time to feel the shoulders get a little extra moment to be tended to, attended to, cared for, stretch in ways that they don't usually stretch. Relax your jaw, take a breath. Carefully release your hands back down. Inhale, flat back. And go ahead, face the top of your mat, stepping your right foot in a little bit. Right hand on the block and left hand to sacrum. Find balance between your legs and start to turn toward the inner left thigh. Slowly, gently feeling into where you feel this twist. Maybe left hand stays on sacrum or maybe it launches up to the sky. Big yawn opening through your wingspan. Twist and turn. Take another breath, inhale. And let's unwind and step back, high plank, straight on down to the mat once again. Interlacing your hands at your low back, squeeze your shoulder blades together, lift your chest, lift your thighs, lift your head, lift your arms, lift everything up. Find your breath, inhales and exhales. Feel the stretches, feel the places. One more breath here, and everything comes down, and the backs of the wrists drag on up, stretching the back of the hand and the back of the wrist. Palms turn to the mat, under the shoulders, and then you lift. Lift heart, drop shoulders, broaden collarbones. Feel the front of the body getting its turn for a stretch. Couple breaths. One more breath. And let's gently flow back to child pose. Long body, long arms. Take an extra 2 breaths here this time. Let's rise on up to downward facing dog. And reach the right leg high to the sky, big breath in. We'll step the right foot to meet the left wrist for a pigeon pose. So drop your hips, lift your heart. Bring your hands to your front leg if that's possible for a little massage to the flesh of the calf or the thigh or the foot. Back kneecap is centered on the mat. 5 toes of the left foot centered on the mat. Take a moment to stretch and lift through your heart. Drop your shoulders. Open your breath. Inhale. And then fold into our pigeon pose. And I like to use lots of support in this pose. Up to you where you find the supports for yourself. Could be under your belly or your forehead or your outer right hip, or even under the left front of the left hip. So just take your time to settle in for a few breaths to stretch. And if it feels okay for you, reach your arms forward to include the shoulders in this stretching. It's a leap of faith sometimes to release the arms, but you really don't need them in the pose if you surrender to that. Slow your breath down and just feel into this moment. Feel your body sinking into the stretch. We'll take a few more breaths. And we'll rise on up. Go ahead and lengthen your left leg forward, keeping your right knee bent. And we'll just take a moment to find our sitting bones underneath us. Left hand comes back behind as the right hand comes to the outer left thigh, and just a gentle twist. Right knee is opening down toward the mat and left leg nice and long. One more breath here. And if you want to use your strap around the ball of the left foot, so be it. You could also reach the right hand, and you'll probably get a nice big stretch for not only the flank, the outer right flank, but also the shoulder, the arm, the leg, of course, the left leg. So see how many places you can feel into stretch, into space, opening the softness of our bodies, really reconnecting with it, rather than the tight and held and sort of springy tension. We want to move into a more smooth, open quality of our tissues. Last few breaths. Get longer through your spine. One more breath. Easy, gentle rise. We're going to keep the right knee bent and we're going to stack the left knee on top of the right and bend it as well. And you're going to find the outer feet on the mat, each foot. So this is a really beautiful hip stretch. And I also want to bring in some shoulder work. So we will reach the arms up, take opposite hand to opposite elbow, and just a little side to side through your rib cage. And the right knee is on top, so the right elbow is going to stay bent up above, and the left hand can sort of guide that right bent elbow, right bent arm. And then the left hand's going to swoop around, and you're going to find a clasp for your hands. Another really great opportunity to use your strap if you need it. Right elbow high, right hip really grounding. Left shoulder comes down, left elbow presses down, and you're getting a great hip stretch as well as this right side body. We're going to gently and slowly come forward. It could be just a little hint of a forward fold, or it could be that your chest rests all the way down on those knees at the top of your pose here. So a couple more breaths wherever you are. We're focusing on stretch today. What are you stretching in yourself? Where are you finding your stretch in your life? One more breath. Release the arms. Gently, hands by your sides, feet to the mat, and a little windshield wiper side to side. Find your breath. Lift your chest up to the sky, just shining your heart up. We'll find a moment of stillness in this pose. Feet come down and palms to the mat. Fingertips are facing forward towards your feet. Lift your hips. Lift your chest. Ground through the hands and feet. This is reverse tabletop. Take another breath. Don't push the river. And gently come down, cross the ankles, find your way back to downward facing dog. Feel your fullest, most open dog yet. Inhale. And exhale, we'll step the left foot to meet the right wrist. Pigeon pose on second side. Dropping the hips, lifting the heart, hands to the legs. And really find the pressure of your palms through your body to offer some opening and some release. And when you feel ready, when you've checked in with the back leg and any other fine details of your pose, maybe where to place supports, go ahead and bow in and release and let go. Surrender. And if it feels okay, stretch your arms out in front of you. And just let the opening happen here. Where do you feel it in your body? Last couple of breaths. Let's rise. Left knee stays bent. And go ahead, swing the right leg forward. We'll find our twist. So right hand comes behind, left hand to the outer right leg. Twist and spin. And when you're ready, slide in, lengthening. You might use a strap around the foot, or you might just reach your left hand as far to the right as you can and forward, so that the shoulder blade and the whole kind of left flank right out through the left fingertips gets a beautiful stretch here. Right leg also, of course. Taking your time, enjoying the ride, finding your breath, finding your edge or your resistance, and just staying at that sweet spot where you are continually being kind to yourself. 2 more breaths. Taking your time to rise. Left knee stays bent and right knee comes on top of that left knee, stacking the knees. Outer feet are on the mat. Just take a moment to give those shoulders a little circle and reach the arms opposite hand to opposite elbow, getting some length from your waistline right up through your elbow points. And then we let the left hand come down the back as the right hand encourages that left elbow in toward midline. And as you're ready, the right hand swings around and finds the left. And this might mean using a strap or your shirt. Left elbow high, right elbow low, spine nice and long. Knees stacking are really creating an amazing hip opener. And then a gentle, gentle lean forward. It could be far, it could just be a little tiny bit. How does it serve you? How does each movement of this practice serve you? How could you make it your own? 2 more breaths. Easy release. Feet to the ground. Windshield wiper side to side. And then go ahead, lie on your back. Find your block, bring it with you. We're gonna back bend this time on the block. So feet come close to the body and hips lift up, and you place that block on the highest level that you can. It could be the lowest, it could be the middle, or it could be the high end. It doesn't matter, and you can move it up or down at any point. But just take a minute to feel into the hips resting on the block. Grasp the outer edges of the mat and squeeze your shoulder blades underneath you together. And then turn your palms open and just open your chest here. This is an opportunity to open the chest, to relax into a front body opening stretch. Kind of a little more of a passive stretch if you want to. When you're ready to make it more active, you press through your feet and you lift off the block and you come higher. Even if the block's on the highest end, see if you could lift even a little bit higher. Lengthen out your front body, drop your shoulders, lengthen your thighs, open your breath. Squeeze your belly down. A couple more rounds. Feel all 5 toes on the mat, inner and outer. Squeeze your inner thighs toward one another. Take one more breath. And we'll gently come on out, come on down. Take a moment to release, lengthen your legs. Reach your arms overhead. Big yawning body stretch. And it's time to close down our short practice. So any last moves that your body wants. It could just be this beautiful stretch and then really release, just settle into a Shavasana. Another wonderful thing to do is stretch and really engage everything on an inhale, and then on an exhale, soften and just let everything kind of flop. You could do that a couple times. You could also choose like some bicycles or an inversion or a twist. But moving to settle into the end of practice, a time for rest. This day is traditionally set aside for rest and enjoyment. And I certainly hope that yoga is a part of that experience for you. So really settle into the joy of relaxing in our practice today, of stretching, and then of letting go and of coming into a nice, gentle Shavasana rest. a place to just be, to listen to the quiet that might be around you or any noise. Just let it sort of filter through your sound and let it move through your being. Become one with the earth. Become one with the space around you. Shavasana, sense of dissipating your energy, releasing it into the earth, out into the ether. What can you let go of? Just rest and I will hold the space. A few more breaths. Softening your interior space. Softening your skin. And stay with a soft and malleable mind. One that is not rigid. Settle into simplicity. And let breath be your guide as you start to deepen your breath a bit, inhaling and exhaling. Let the breath bring you into gentle movement, wiggling your fingers and toes. Maybe a sigh or a sound, maybe a touch, or again, a stretch, maybe one that you didn't quite get to or wanted to revisit. When you're ready, roll on your side and curl up in a tiny ball of you. Give yourself a hug and know that you're rounding and stretching the back of your body. Forehead drops to the earth to release anything that is excess, anything that does not serve, anything that does not feel authentic to you. And then we rise to seated. And as you come to your seat, see if you can feel the quality of stretch through moving parts, like through your spine, through your joints, opening these spaces. And at the same time, maintaining like a nice healthy barrier or boundary so that you're not overstretching, overreaching, overarching, right? We want to find that quality of in our minds and in our lives of being able to stretch, but also being able to hold a boundary and come to the edge of a stretch. Kind of a way to think about it in our hearts. Let's draw our hands to our hearts and honor ourselves in our stretches and in our boundaries. Our heart is so wonderful that it can open and open and open and open. And we also want to care for ourselves and not spread our energy too thin. So bow to your heart and its beauty and its perfection. And then draw the thumbs to the third eye center between the brows and lift yourself up, 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 up. Connecting to one another in the ethers. Thank you for joining me today in practice. Namaste.